Hello from Cannes Lions 2026. I'm Karishma Singapore, Global Brand Director at Dentsu, and I am joined by Amanda Morrissey, Global Brand President for iProspect. Now, Amanda, hello.
Hello.
You've been heads down in hours and hours of judging, looking at amazing work.
Yep.
First things first, how does it feel that judging is over?
I'm in relief because you're locked in a room for 3 days and there's no escape. And your brain hurts because you have to concentrate so much. But I think the thing coming out now that I really appreciate is what I've learned is judging is a gift. You never get that amount of time to think about the work and talk about the work and with other people from the industry. So it's a real gift to do it. So I'm feeling very grateful now it's all over that I was part of that journey.
I can imagine. Okay, so from all the work that you've seen,
Yeah.
what do you think sets the ones that go through versus the ones that don't?
It's really interesting because there's a lot around. So media's massive. There's over 2,000 entries into the media category, and there are a ton of rounds of judging. The judges, the in-room judges, participate in every round, which is really good. So you get to see the work come through from 2,000 right down.
Yeah.
The final round of judging was 188. And the way it works is at the 188, you have to take 40 off. And the next day you take 100 off.
Big job.
And then you reduce it down. So the way we chose to do that, because there's so many subcategories in media, is we agreed it 3 months ago. We had 4 really clear criteria right at the long list stage, and we used it right up to the Grand Prix of what goes through. And the first one was about like a really compelling consumer insight. And there's a lot of insight. But really compelling consumer insight, really differentiated kind of pack. And then the second one was what we were looking for was a really creative idea or platform. And so it was a brilliant consumer insight supported by an amazing creative idea. And so actually we found quite a lot of non-sexy things got into that. It's just the idea was so good out of that insight. And then the third one for us, we decided was scale, because it's media. It can't be tiny. There's a lot of really beautiful things, but they were just a moment in time or a market or a channel, and we just really wanted scale. And the final one, obviously, because we're media, was impact. And so did it really grow the business and have an impact? A little bit what we thought about was, does it have an impact on the way we think about media as well? So those were the 4, and we stuck to it all the way through. So I can honestly say the ones that got through to gold, silver and bronze and the Grand Prix were excellent at all 4 of those.
Amazing. I bet that was incredible seeing all the kind of the different versions, but in those 4 categories as well.
Yeah.
So from looking at those, the ones that got through, do you think there was any like themes or trends that ran throughout, or were they all individual in their own rights?
No, there were the trends of the really good ones that kept coming through. Well, the trends led us to this debate about what is media, what is the craft of media, because that's essentially what you're judging in this category. And what's the craft of media today, and what's it going to look like in the future, and what do we want to say to the industry? As a team of judges about how we should be thinking about what media is going to look like in the next few years. And so that was the overriding theme, is about defining what the future of media really looks like. And I think the ingredients that were consistent out of that was definitely, you could see the collapse of creative and media. Everything that got through was really about bringing content and media together. So really integrated thinking, not just content and media. So I think that was really one. And then the next one was data and technology. So really using data in a really effective way to fuel the insights, and technology to scale ideas much faster and broader. So that was definitely part of one of the things that differentiated it. And I think the third theme that came through was how they used insight. Because interesting as how they used AI, because interestingly, there were very few, 80% of the entries used AI.
Right.
But actually, very few of them used AI to either develop the original creative idea, or actually like AI ad formats. So it was quite interesting. I think it was just a bit too early for that.
Yeah.
But they used AI for research. They used AI to scale analysis. They used AI to make the process more effective and to get there faster and maybe more on point. But actually, the really interesting thing, it wasn't about AI and the creative idea. Maybe that's next year in terms of how it comes through. But AI was consistent throughout it all as well.
And so actually, moving on to my final question, is that for all those marketers that are at home prepping for the next campaigns, what's one thing that you can advise them to do to make sure they get into that shortlist next year?
Honestly, it's all about the case film. Think about how you write that case study, because if you think about that judging, going from over 2,000 down to 40 in the end, is the case film and the case write-up are absolutely critical. And I think one of the things we saw was too many people entered the same case or the same write-up into multiple different categories or subcategories, and then the film and the write-up didn't match the category, so you were judged down. So for me,
Be specific.
my big takeout is just really thinking hard, having done it now, really thinking hard about how you tell that story in the case film so that the simplicity of what you're trying to put across gets across really quickly, because you only have seconds with the judges to get through. And so, yeah, that's my big advice.
There you go. Take notes. Well, thank you, Amanda, and we'll see you again next year.